everybody? Welcome to the Thursday show here on the Frontline Gaming Network. You know what day it is. You know what time it is. It's time to run down the biggest and best meta coming up over this weekend. You're either going to learn how to be the meta or how to beat the meta. We're here and happy to talk about it. My name is Paul Murphy, your host. I'm joined by Adam Camilleri.
The very yellow episode for Adam Camilleri.
And Dustin Henshaw.
Very gray for some reason. I'm trying to figure that out myself.
Multitude of lighting issues.
77 shows. Light's still a mystery to us. Light in itself, how it works, how fast it is, how it bends. Who knows? But anyway, thanks for all listening, and welcome to those joining us live here in the chat. Pleasure to see y'all. Definitely do some shout outs over the course of this broadcast. We are going to be talking about one event coming up this weekend, and it's a great one in Nottingham, the home of the Warhams.
This one's actually in London.
It is actually in London.
Like actually in London.
We should actually talk about how to get to Nottingham. Like if you're actually traveling and how to get to Warhammer World, it is easier than you think if you're going that direction. So you can actually, if you're in vacationing in the area or near the area, you can just zip up there pretty easy. That'd be a cool thing to do. Maybe later on in the show. But definitely take a look at that slide up on the screen as well if you're listening to Where in the World is War Games Live? Lightly salted second Utah Invitational, Salt Lake City, Utah, 20 players. Check them out on the War Games Live stream this weekend if you want some live tournament coverage.
I hear they're battling it out for some kind of golden salt shaker.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's the prize. If they've just got like a salt shaker and a spray of gold put on a plinth, perfect.
Can you use it to actually salt stuff? Can you actually open up, put salt in it?
I hope so. I hope so. I hope you can salt your opponent's models as you
bring it to
them.
every single family function. Here's the salt shaker we're using. Put it on the table.
One shot there, Warlord. Little sprinkle. Yeah.
Just lightly dusted everything.
That's right.
I love that. So yeah, talking about this, the big event coming up in Nottingham, 400 players, and we're going to talk about a bitter rivalry between one of our hosts. You got to stay tuned for that, and a player out there in the world. I don't even know if they know each other.
I don't even know if he knows
not.
I don't even know if this guy exists. I don't know if this guy is aware of this other person's. But it's time for the shout-outs. Time for the gauntlet to be thrown. For we will crown a victor at the end of this season. 3 weeks away from the end of the season, and you can expect only one show per episode for the next 3 weeks. We're going to be exclusively covering and deep diving the Nottingham, enter the UKTC circuit, enter the ITC season in the UK. We've had a bumper freaking season. Uprising in South Australia next weekend, the end of the Australian circuit, and then the Grandaddy Mall. LVO 10, the 10th LVO will be crowning off and ending the ITC season. Before we begin anew, everyone make the X. At home, you have to do it. We'll know if you don't do it. Just do it.
We'll know.
Not if you're driving.
Yeah, okay.
Especially if no.
There we go. No, look, I cannot wait for LVO this year. We got so many plans. Like mostly my plan is to eat around Vegas. I've got some other stuff to do there. You can tune in. You'll see us doing stuff or whatever. But, when we're not on stream in one stream or another, got to be some eating involved.
Oh, yeah. I need to actually have a meal or two with you, Paul, because I need to see your palate. That's what I'm interested in seeing.
Oh, dude, my palate is wings, burgers, and tacos. It's not,
but it's got to be because you have like that is your main palate, though. You'll know the good wings, burgers, and tacos.
This is true.
I love wings, burgers, and tacos. Okay.
Yeah.
So.
This is true. We will only be the best of all of those things.
Yes, exactly. That's what we want. That's what we're gunning for here.
And thanks a lot to everybody hanging out in the chat. If you are listening to this after the fact for the first time, we do this live every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern time. We have an amazing chat community that helps us out. Tells us when we're wrong, helps them fill in some information about the event. Sometimes you get players from the event. Sometimes you get some folks in contention for some of the top spots in the ITC in the chat with us. But it's always a great crowd. Consider joining us live if you possibly can. Work it in your schedule. If not, we certainly appreciate you listening after the fact. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So Nottingham, what I mentioned, of course, the home of many Warhammer players and Warhammer World itself. And it's just a quick aside is, when you're going and you're in the UK, maybe for the first time, you're thinking, how on earth do I get up to Warhammer World? It's pretty simple. You take a train out of King's Crossing, you go to Nottingham, you go directly there, get off, and it's a 5-minute train ride or 5-minute Uber ride, taxi ride from the train station.
Is there what's
the mile distance between them?
Nottingham and London?
Yes,
7.
It's a 2-hour train. It's like 200 miles.
What, 8?
7 miles? What? 8 miles?
7? 8? I don't know.
204 miles.
204. Okay.
Is there like a platform 9 3/4, like for getting to Warhammer World? You know, is there like a Warhammer World Express, a la the Hogwarts Express?
That's how you actually get from the main play area, to Bugman's Bars. That you have to run through a doorway.
Yeah. So it's like platform 12, platform 6, not platform 12, platform 6, as a la, 6 on 2d6.
No, it's platform 13. It's the 13th great platform.
Oh, of course, because you can't, it's the one more than the best thing you get on the dice roll. That's it. That's it. It all makes sense, mate. And when you get through the barrier, it's a Votan land train that takes you directly to Warhammer World.
Get yourself a breakfast bap.
Yeah.
Breakfast bap.
Bap?
Yeah.
Is it like a bibimbap? Like a Korean?
No.
Okay,
what's a bap then?
You'll figure it out when you get there.
I guess I'm gonna have to go there to find out what a bap is.
It's too much of an aside, but I do like to tell folks, because you can, if you can get out, spend 4 hours outside of your vacation or whatever, you can get up there, hang out for a little bit, and head back.
Oh, for sure.
Something to do. All right, let's talk about the event itself. We mentioned 400 players, 391 players using the Nephilim packet. No balance slate or points adopted. I guess again, it's one of those things where that stuff is kind of just too early, too new right now. Probably didn't want to disrupt the folks they had coming for this, which I believe is a season ender for them.
It is, and also technically the new packet, the new GT packet is released the day of the event, so it was really hard to adopt that. They could have made an argument, I suppose, that they could have adopted the points or the balanced data slate should be what their constituents, what the customers of that TO that event would have wanted to see out the event season as they've played it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say too. I feel like this is something you got to remember at the end of the season. This is one of the few and only times I'm actually okay with, even if things that just came out, you're not using them. I'm okay with that because it's the end of the season, and I feel like you should end it with what you were just playing anyway, instead of playing the last game of that season as the new season. If that makes any sense, like I'm okay with it doing this point, because it's just it makes sense. You're comfortable with it. You want to end the season with the same thing you used to been playing this whole time, right? Because that's like when you're playing hockey, they don't change the rules after during the Stanley Cup, right?
But also, we're a big proponent on this show of giving the people what they want. I hope if 201 of the 390 people wanted the new points, they maybe would have done it. But yeah. But Zach and the team with UKTC have possibly put together the best 12 months of tournaments I have seen anywhere in the freaking world so far. So this is a capstone to a phenomenal 12 months from Zach and his team at the UKTC. Well done to him. What else we need to know from this event?
5 rounds cut to top 4, then 2 more rounds. So, 7-round event. Looks like they've got a little bit of kind of people trying to play into those top seeds. It's probably going to be very difficult with this many players.
Mm-hmm.
So something interesting to note from the meta of this event. All right. So we have 391 players. How many undefeated are we going to have at the end of 5 rounds? And then only 4 of the... someone told me already, 12. There could be up to 12 undefeated players at the end of round 5. So that means if you are winning, they better be freaking hundreds if you want to guarantee
you can't
make it into that top cut. You can't be getting even 85s or 90s. You have to be getting like 90 plus to guarantee.
So what faction? And this would be something to unpack when we start picking the winners and that kind of stuff. But what factions are capable of doing that right now to win and get the hundreds? 2
come to mind for me: Tyranids. And
Tyranids, really?
Yeah,
I was actually questioning Tyranids myself.
Well, the thing is, Tyranids can always get the win, right? But actually, let's probably ask Dustin a little bit better than me. Tyranids can always get the win, but can they get the hundreds? The other ones I was going to say was Necrons, and of course the T-Suns and Flamers. T-Suns and Flamers are very good at putting up 100, but they don't necessarily affect their opponent's score all that much.
Are you intentionally omitting the Adeptus Sororitas?
They kind of have a capstone on. They have one secondary that can only score a 12, right? Am I remembering that correctly?
Yes.
And because of that, and that's one of the very good secondaries, I worry a little bit about Sisters for that exact reason. Somebody just say, okay, one of your secondaries can only get a 12. All I do is mess with another one, give you a 12. If that happens 2 games out of 5, you don't make the top cut.
Well, see, with Sisters, I don't think it's not the secondaries that hurt the Sisters. It's primary that can hurt the Sisters. They can be denied primary a lot easier than a lot of other factions, I think, because they do a lot of MSU and they're easy to kick off of those objectives. So I feel like their primary is where they're going to suffer. Like their secondaries, I think
That's fair
you're
to say.
right, but they'll still get 30, 35 in that, and then primary they'll still do well with primary, but because they can be denied, it's going to drop their win points
Yeah.
down.
So immediately, what we're talking about here, when we listed out the format, and then we listed out an amount of people that are coming, and then you start doing some math, does that really influence what some players are taking out there? Is it, and maybe we'll see that as we run down the
Yeah,
factions
maybe we should look at the
and
factions and
note
see.
some of the players and stuff like that, because this matters. Like the actual format of the tournament sometimes really matters to affect what you put into your list or what you even bring if you have multiple options.
Just to point out before we go into the meta breakdown, the quick and dirties, I have done a bunch of extra here. Of course, I've broken down the Heretic Astartes super faction, so they've been broken down into their subsequent factions. I've also denoted how many of the T-Suns list have flamers in tow. So apologies if it's really small on the screen for you guys. Screenshot it, take a picture on your phone, maximize it as best you can, but it's all there for your viewing pleasure. Dustin, take it away.
Absolutely. So we're looking for quick and dirty stats. The Imperial Superfaction is going to be 16 Sisters of Battle, 20 Custodes, only 1 AdMech, 15 Astra Militarum, 10 Grey Knights, and 14 Imperial Knights. Space Marines, there's 9 Dark Angels, 9 Space Wolves, 10 Blood Angels, 2 Ultramarines, 3 Salamanders, 2 Black Templar, 2 Raven Guard, 2 Imperial Fist, 3 Iron Hands, and a Death Watch. Chaos, there's 22,000 suns, and 16 of them have demons. I like that.
That's lower than I would imagine for demons.
That is actually that. But
I was like,
thousands with demons.
That's just 6 people that couldn't get the flamers. They let the other
flamers. That's right.
Borrow their
yes.
Yep, for sure. 11 Death Guard, 20 Demons, and 7 Renegade Knights. Heretic Astartes, there's 8 Black Legion, 3 Night Lords, 10 Emperor's Children, 1 Alpha Legion, 3 Red Corsairs, 1 Iron Warriors, 2 Word Bearers, 4 Creations of Bile, and 5 World Eaters. Heroes. Ooh, I like seeing the World Eaters. Xenos, there is 18 Necrons, 17 Orcs, 32 Tau. Oh my God.
Someone actually put in the chat a few minutes ago, the Tau always win. Just, all it needs a little bit of pilot skill. I think that's what they said.
I think at least 1 or 2 of the 32 people should be pretty good pilots at the very least, right? That's fair.
I mean,
fair odds. I'd say. And there's also 15 Votan. Hive Mind, there's 29 Tyranids and 10 G-Call. All right, G-Call being represented here.
Great GSC numbers.
Wow. Okay.
More there's GSC than Space Wolves. I think that's the first time we've ever seen that on this show.
Probably.
Could be, man.
Yeah, probably. There's more GSC than a couple of these factions, which is actually kind of crazy. But there's more GSC than Renegade Knights too.
10 times more than AdMech.
10 times more than AdMech. Well, 7
I
times.
just want everyone. There's one AdMech player. Everybody buy him a drink, just because that guy is a soldier. That's a champion.
Absolute champion. And then watch him win the event. Eltari, there's 10 Drakari, 16 Harlequins, 24 Asuriani, and 7 Yanari, which means the faction podium is Heretic Astartes topping it off with 37. Tau is really at the top of because they're the super faction themselves with 32. Then Tyranids with 29, Asuriani with 24, and then a nice shout out to Thousand Suns with 22. That's Asuriani bringing up there. That's actually surprising. That's
absolutely is. Yeah, absolutely is. Tau is kind of not that surprising for the UKTC. It's kind of been bubbling away there the whole time. They've always they generally hit the podium in the UK events. With them being kind of number one in this, I put the Heretic Astartes there because I just wanted to denote that they are kind of the most without really muddying the waters. Technically, Tau I think is the most represented faction at this event, and it's absolutely terrifying. Absolutely terrifying, boys. As a couple of Tau lists we'll be unpacking as we go, and they're really, really strong. But some outliers, 5 World Eaters, like you noted. What the hell is with that? Also, Demons having very strong numbers. Honorable mention to Demons, and I think it was Custodes.
20 Custodes.
20. Yeah. Yeah, I was actually expecting more Demons, to be honest. I expected Demons to kind of be in the mid to high 20s. But
people trying to get the last of that Armor Contempt hurrah.
Yeah, exactly right. And I think when it comes down to it, the Chaos, we know more than every other faction, every super faction in the game, the Chaos players rob Peter to pay Paul. People who play Chaos, and when push comes to shove at the end of the season, people will play the best thing that they have for that super faction, which I believe is the T-Suns Demons mix. So yeah, maybe there's quite a few demon players that would be playing them, but have switched over to the T-Sun side. Or
Yeah,
Chaos Space Marines. Or Chaos Space Marines, yeah.
so chaos players do that. You're exactly right. That is that is a common thread between the chaos. That's why we see some world eaters. They're like, well, you know what, things are changing.
Yeah,
Let's
absolutely.
let's run with it. I've had
Emperor's
these berserkers for a long time.
Looking at the Heretic Astartes, I think just about all the legions are represented here, but Black Legion and Emperor's Children being the two most represented, that is different. That is a drop-off from Creations of Bile. It's usually Emperor's Children, then Creations of Bile, those two swap, and then it's usually Black Legion or Word Bearers in third. Seeing the drop off, almost a 50% drop off, because usually we would, for a size of this event, we would see around about somewhere between 7 and 10 Creations of Bile. They've almost halved, and Emperor's Children picking up the slack. Is that another one where people are just like, I think Emperor's Children are like 1-2% better, so I'm going to take them?
This is one of those cases that because the Creations of Bile obviously got hit in the data slate and Emperor's Children didn't, it might be a point of like, well, I may as well start getting used to the Emperor's Children now because they didn't change as much in terms of gameplay style, aside from losing their armor contempt, also a bit of durability and a couple points changes too. Because Creations of Bile, their gameplay is going to be a little bit different because you can't rely on that fight and death anymore. It's only a 50-50 chance. So it may as well start getting used to playing because Emperor's Children play very different than Bile, right? And so do the other legions.
Last one will be kind of, well, we're going to unpack many more of these numbers, but the last one I really wanted to talk to, and we started with it, Asuriani. What the hell is going on there, guys? That's
yes,
that's literally double, almost more than double their usual numbers for this size event.
So all the Asuriani players just getting excited. It's like, wait, armor contempt's going away? You mean my -1 is just going to rip through Marines again?
But I was actually trying to do a quick count on how many of armor contempt armies there have. What have we? 391 players. 200 and something of armor contempt. I mean, those Asuriani don't stand a chance.
Hey, well, it's troubling.
They're getting excited, you know? They're getting excited.
What do we got? We got 43. It's got 37 Heretic Astartes, 43 Space Marines. We're already up to 80 out of 400 odd players. Plus add in the sisters, so we're up to 80 plus the sisters. So that's 96. 96 plus the Grey Knights, 106, and then plus the T-Sons and the Death Guard.
And the Black Legion or whatever this there.
Yeah, another 33 onto the 106. So what is that?
142.
142 of the. I mean, it's damn near. It's over a third is still armor contempt out there.
And Votan too, but they don't have the 3+ save. Larger than the.
Yeah. Well, look at the top two podiums above Asuriani. You know what, Asuriani is actually pretty good at fighting.
Dude, well pointed out. They're not too bad into the nids, and they're not too bad into the tau, are they?
Right? They are not.
Of the things that are their predators, they freaking hate Emperor's Children. They can't kill the Thermies, and then dude, Noise Marines just make a freaking mess. So no matter what unit you've got, either via shooting or via combat, they maul ya, and it's pretty punishing. But man, I don't hate these numbers, and the fact is that we see a decent amount of Ynnari and good numbers on Harlequins as well. So the Harlequin, 16 Harlequin players are actually quite a lot. One of them being Mike Porter, who we'll talk to about when we get to the list breakdown, who's one of the top rated players. He literally didn't get the memo. He's like, hey, Mike, light's crap now. And he's like, never heard of you.
Harlequins are still fine. I'm sorry, but the 4-up invuln was not the reason they were winning games. It was just the reason they were dominating some matchups. Because it wasn't the reason they were winning, though.
Hey, we'll see. We'll see. That's going to be. You got to stay tuned. We're going to be telling you all this stuff.
One last one. The Necron numbers continue to be middling to poor. Poor by the standards of the last 6 months. 18 is not disrespectful to their player base, like numbers wise, like being like.
No, that's pretty good.
It's not bad though, is it? But you expect mid 20s at least, right?
I'm actually curious. Do you know offhand how many are still using the Silent King?
No idea. Didn't look at it.
Didn't think so. Adam lost interest in that.
Look, I started to look at 400 list. And get
it's a lot, man. It's a lot. I seriously.
You mean you didn't? You don't know the actual? You know what? How many of the Tau have riptides, Adam?
Do you want to?
How many of the orcs have battle wagons?
Have def
you should know this stuff.
Legit. I looked at about 50 lists, and after the 18th, 19th, 20th, it's just you look for archetypes.
It's just a matrix.
You don't even see units anymore. You just look for It sprinkles on past in binary. I can quickly look that up while we go.
No. Let's look at the faction breakdown. So before we read the faction breakdown, we had some theories about what we might see there, what players might shift towards. Does that faction breakdown, is that counter to that? Because I think the players may not be thinking the same thing that we are, at least, or a disproportionate amount of the players don't seem to be gearing towards one thing or the other.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we put a mandate on this, like saying, like, this is an event where you need to maximize your score.
Yeah,
So
every game, your first 5 games has to be hundreds. You got to score 500 points.
It's the only way to guarantee the top cut is to just 500s, right?
Yeah, which is interesting because you're talking about Tyranids being one of them. I'd never thought Tau was one of them too, because Tau needs to be like, well, okay. Tau and Tyranids are both, they're both armies that they can do it, but they have to crush you, and they can.
But they're both factions that get wins. You can get wins on everybody. But you're right, they are not known for smacking up 100s. Like, they are not known for just rocking up 100s. Whereas, like I said, Necrons absolutely are. Hell, actually, Heretic Astartes aren't known for putting up 100s either, and that's technically one of the top factions in attendance. They don't put up 100s reliably. Their secondary game isn't amazing. Their primary is very
good. You know who is actually not bad at putting up 100s if everything goes right is the Siriani.
I was going to say the Eldari might be where it is. Harlequins and a Siriani, both fantastic 100 getters. When things are going well.
Maybe that's it. Because everything you just described, the Tau and the Tyranids, they make pretty decent work of anything Marine armor equivalent. And if the Asurani happen to dodge a little bit of that just with a bit of fortune, then that round 2 and 3 could be defining for them. And even if they have kind of a roughish, let's say an 85-point win in round 1, they could be off to the races in 2 through 5.
I see what you did there, Paul, with a little bit of fortune. That was good.
That was very good. One thing I wanted to talk about that I forgot to talk about before, the night numbers are really down for this level of event. There's a total of 21 knights across both.
That's actually interesting too, because I always thought that Imperial Knights are one of those 100 getters for sure.
Me too, and I thought they're really good. I've always thought they were good on UKTC tables, but are they going away because they've got 2 of their major predators in the environment?
Yes,
that being Heretic Astartes, Emperor's Children, or Creations of Bile. Take your pick. They both counter knights extremely well, and Tau. Annihilate them from the side of the world.
And Votan.
True. Votan on the rise as well. That's another great point.
Yeah.
Interesting. I guess let's talk a little bit about some of the lists we're going to see there. And, we got a great one to talk about. First thing, number 1 player in the UK.
And the world, mate.
And the world.
And he's number 1 in the world. Number one in the UK as well. He's playing Thousand Suns, Cult of Duplicity, and Zinch Demons. This will not be an unfamiliar list to you all. And because we're only covering one event, I've taken some liberties of pulling out some other little bits of interesting facts and nuance about it. So expect to see like Harlequin troops will have their weapons listed to them. The weapons that are on crisis suits will be listed, etc., etc. So jumping down.
More data.
Exactly. Well, we're going to deep dive. Boys. We've got a battalion, Armament, Exalted Source, Infernal Master. No surprises there. 6 units of 5 rubrics, each with a Soul Reaper cannon and an icon. 10 Scarab Occult Terminators with full guns, which is actually different to have seen in a couple of different iterations, and a single Rhino making up the T-Sun's portion. We go into a Vanguard detachment, which has a Changecaster, 2 units of 5 flamers, and a unit of 3 flamers. And that is pretty close to the prototype, with the exception of him paying for all the guns, which is very interesting, because we've seen people skew that for more stuff. You would get a second Rhino. You would get a second Rhino, a couple of Solo Spawn, or Zangor Enlightened for the points he's paying for the guns. Why do you think the guns are so important to how Vic plays this?
That's a good question. I also want to say that I had the pleasure of speaking with Vic before, and and seeing online that kind of stuff. Seems like a great dude as well. So this is going to be a pleasure to play against. Even if the army is brutal on the table, from what we can tell. It is a great question. Like, I assume you're talking about like the big Soul Reaper cannons and that kind of stuff.
He's paid for 6, 7, 8 Soul Reaper cannons, and then he's paid for 2 Hellfire missile racks. Yeah. I'm assuming the Soul Reapers are there because he knows Heretic Astartes is going to be here, there, and everywhere. He wants to be able to pick up Noise Marines. He wants to be able to smash Creations of Bile before they close distance on him. So things of that ilk is what I assume. And also, I cheekily think he's tooled for the mirror match. I
was actually going to lean to that, as in when you're shooting things that are really good at your Overwatch, like tearing you up, you want to have some credible threat. I mean, let's also think about things like, the demon, the Bloodthirster is a big deal. Like, you might be able to power him down, get a few wounds off in the psychic phase. You want to also get some wounds in the shooting phase. You may never even have to charge into that thing.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, if you're putting all the weapons on them, he obviously wants them to be a credible threat, not just a block that they have to remove that's OBSEC and stealing stuff away from you. He wants them to be a credible threat. Now, 2 Soul Reapers and some Hellfire and Missile Rex aren't exactly like, oh my god, I gotta stay away from that. But it's also, these are here. I may as well shoot with them too and be do damage with them, right? That makes sense.
I greatly prefer this style with the 6 units of rubrics than having the 3 units of rubrics and then more Scarab Occults. I don't think the Scarab Occults have been the way to go for a while. I think 1 is mandatory in a primary T-Suns list, but seeing people try and take 20 or more and still have the Flamers just makes me feel like you haven't got enough board to really push the primary.
Is there enough here to really be all over the board and scoring all the points? I mean,
there's enough to be where you need to be to score the points, and you have the mobility because your duplicity to put something in a random spot. Like, you can't, you force your opponent to not be able to just focus one flank. They have to spread out enough. Otherwise, okay, well, now I'm over here, so deal with me here now.
Yeah, I'll also point out that I didn't write this down, but the rubrics either have the double move power or they have Doombolt, which I love them. I love them having Doombolt, especially the ones that get out of the Rhino, because then they pop around a corner. You can have 2 of them in there. One of them comes out one turn, pops around a corner. Doombolts, then with all the guns and the Soul Reaper, you've got a great chance of clearing just about any other objective holding unit off an objective and taking it. And then the double move ones are just for like grabbing a table quarter, pulling a banner down, denying a bit of primary here, there, and everywhere. I think getting the most of your rubrics is the key to this build. The Flamers are just going to do what they do. The Scarab Occults are just going to do what they do. It's maximizing the efficiencies that you get from your rubrics will really get you the hundreds, I think.
Yep. No, absolutely. You nailed that for sure. And obviously, these Flamers are still
jacked. Jacked is all jacked.
Just jacked.
Stupid.
It's like he's got a lot of good secondary options going into the field, plenty of other psychic armies that he'll be fighting against. So the Wrath of Magnus is online.
Well, he's also maximized the absolute crap out of his Cabal points. 6 just from the rubrics plus the Scarabs, plus Armor and Exalted. He's going to be able to force through an undeniable secondary, warp ritual or psychic interrogation every turn without issue, and still jack up his extra mortals, jack up his extra ranges and things. So I think this is a great list. Let's hit the next one, which is
before that one. I like what you just said about the Rhino too, about being able to give him a little bit of deployment options, a little bit extra mobility options. The army is really great. I mean, most iterations of the Thousand Suns are really great mid-range armies. He's got, and I was kind of worried about with the spawn not being there, a little bit of table presence gone, a little bit of that reach out and touch someone with the speed, outside of teleportation not there. But being able to put 2 units in that Rhino and then get somewhere and then do like 2 burst types of things, it's going to be really powerful.
Yep.
Totally agree. All right, let's hit a transition. For the 2nd or 3rd time this season, we are doing David Galar's list because he's the next top guy ranked. And for the 2nd or 3rd time this season, it's exactly the same shit that Vic took. So literally, I don't know how many times this has happened, but point for point, it's the same as Vic's. It's almost like they're on the same team or something. Is literally all I've got here. So moving on, David's going to do phenomenally well, and is a lovely gen as well. I keep saying this: New Zealand's best export.
As far as like teams and whatever using similar list, that happens in other games like Magic all the time. It's like where a group of very talented folks workshop something they know will, or theorize will perform incredibly well in the meta, and they either all take it or they take what beats it because they know they're going to be playing each other in the last round.
Is it the last 3 or the last 4 LVOs? The same thing has happened. A dominant group of individuals has come together, pressure cooked a list. They've all taken it, and it's just clobbered its way to the victory.
It's one way to do it.
Castell and Guard. To see both of them doing really well.
Yep, Castell and Guard, Double Spear Yanari, Broviathan, all these things. Maybe these boys are onto it, and we're gonna have the dice down Flamer, T Flamer or something.
One of the things, I mean, you can hear this on, it's not quite the scope of our podcast, but other shows can certainly cover this type of thing about how to actually play test. Like, how do you figure out what the best thing to do is, and how do you effectively test to figure out if it is, to determine that it is the best thing. You can. We talk a lot about borrowing army list out there, and that's perfectly fine too. But sometimes there's brewers out there, and people want to feel like they're doing something a little bit different, and there's codes out there to be cracked.
All right, let's hit the next one, boys. We have Mr. Mike Porter himself, currently ranked 7th in the world, 3rd in the UK Harlequins, a light Sadith. This man has barely changed a thing in a year of playing this faction. He's got a battalion, Shadowseer, Troop Master, 6 units of 5 troop. They've each got 2 Neuro Disruptors and 2 weapons, sometimes a caress, kiss, embrace, whatever. 2 Death Jesters, one with the Lord Crystal upgrade, Crystal Bones, and the other one with the Rift Ghoul upgrade, so 2 DJs, which is one more than usually see, sometimes you don't see any. A single Solitaire, 5 Star Weavers, and then we jump into his patrol detachment, of course, 2nd Troop Master, 2 units of 5 troop, equipped exactly the same, and 2 more Star Weavers for a total of 5 boats, 6 characters, and 8 units of 5 clowns.
So let me get this straight. No fusion.
I don't believe there is any fusion.
Really?
Wow. Let me double check. I may have got it wrong, and I just didn't write that down. Because now that you say that,
that'd be very shocking to me.
It's poignant now that you say that.
Yeah.
Dustin did the quick math and he found out this list is 80 points short.
Wait a minute.
I said I was going to write down some stuff. I didn't say I was going to write down all the stuff. I would assume that
we're deep diving.
It was going to be
most of every list.
Most of every list.
Yeah.
Anything fusion? Nah, forget that. Or in Silent King,
it's just assumed that it's there. He doesn't need to write it down.
100%. You got to assume they're there, right?
Yeah, I would assume so. That would be very. I'd be interested if it wasn't. I'd have questions too. But
we have fun on this show. I want to point that out. I also want to say what's up to everybody in the chat. Basically say what's up. Also, Nurgle, Matt, Cap, and Andrew, Alex Chavia, Nicky D. Williams, Tim the Sorcerers. I think fans of the folks we were just talking about.
Maybe
seeing some new names in the chat too. So keep them coming. What are y'all up to this evening while we're all hanging out? Well, I was stalling so Adam could find the fusions.
2 fusion pistols. And
nailed it.
Yes. Of course they were there. I assumed they were there, but as soon as you said it, like really stupid, you didn't write that down. Adam, you wrote everything else down. So yeah, 2 fusion pistols.
Just making sure. We assumed, but now we've confirmed. We're good.
Yeah, we're good. You had to make me do it now. All right.
7th in the world is not taking fusion pistols.
I know. He hasn't got this far without not taking fusion pistols. How do we feel about this list? And is this good into the meta?
Yes.
Yes. 100%.
Just 100%.
Cut it.
100%. Obviously, mortal wounds and fusion pistols and speed and durability and obsec.
Mm-hmm.
No.
And literally in the top 3, if not top 3, top 5 best secondary games in the game.
Oh, yeah.
Really phenomenal at getting 100 points. And it doesn't even need to kill you. It can kill you. Just, if it doesn't need to, you'll just be like, okay, cool, I'll just score 100 and do my thing. Very like Necrons would.
Let's break this down a little bit. So you mentioned the 2 relics on the Death Jesters. One, why 2 Death Jesters, and what are those relics doing?
One of them, I believe, is the turning off OBSEC Overwatch, and then he's got to have the mortal wound run, right? That's just my assumption. Again, I'm just assuming. I don't know for sure because Lord Crystal does not sound like the mortal wound one or the OBSEC.
Lord Crystal is each time this model shoots, if any hits are scored, unless the target is vehicle or monster, until the start of your next turn, subtract 2 from the move, and they can't Overwatch or set to defend. It's 100% anti-flame attack.
Yeah.
Rift Ghoul. Each time this unit makes an attack, the attacker does not receive the benefits of cover. On a modified root roll of 4+, inflict 1 mortal wound in addition to any.
Oh, so it is the mortal wound in Overwatch. Okay.
Yeah, it is.
There you go.
100%.
I know what I'm talking about. I just don't know what they're called.
Yeah. Dustin's in Mike's kitchen. He's like, I got this whole thing figured out.
It's really, really, really good. That combination is fantastic. The stopping Overwatch is just mandatory for Harlequins into the Flamer meta. If they don't have it, that matchup just becomes so much worse. Because essentially, as soon as any unit in your army that isn't a transport touches Flamers, they go away. But if you get Overwatched, you go away. So it's really prohibitive.
Yeah, for sure.
Even if you charge them with a transport, they'll kill the transport. Like there's no just like absorbing it with something.
They absolutely will. They'll do 6 wounds to a thing with 4 up invul. That doesn't care because they'll still be wounding it on 4s.
Dude, you just have to play unless you can turn off Overwatch, you have to play the flame attacks. Like play the Piper.
I think actually Death Gesture with Ignore Overwatch is essential in this meta right now, and Mike knows it. He knows it. He knows that at least 2 players are going to be playing Thousand Suns that he's going to run into if he wants to win this event.
Literally, the 2 guys above him in the rankings.
Exactly.
Just like this Death Jester, just for you 2. Here it goes.
Here it is. There's your respect right here.
Yeah.
Some folks did tell us what they're doing this evening. We got was it the Primo Carrot and Inscope painting some Votan.
Nice.
Getting that hot again. Those hobby lags we're going to see. We saw 14 Votan in this tournament here, and that's out of 391 players. Yeah, maybe that's a lot, maybe it's not. But as the weeks go by, I think that number is going to continue to increase.
You're painting some
percentage.
Thunderkin because they dropped in points, man. They dropped 10 points a model. Paint some Thunderkin, put those on the table.
And they are sleepers at the moment. If only the model was released, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's next? What do we got?
So next up we have Mr. Ed Watts. He's ranked 10th in the UK. He's playing Yinari Eldari Goodness. He's got a battalion, an Orktark, a Farseer, and the Yinkan. 2x5 Rangers, because that's a good secondary. 2 units of 10 troop. 2 Caresses, 2 Embraces, 4 Kisses on each squad. Probably some fusion pistols. 2x5 Howling Banshees. 5 Striking Scorpions, a Warlock Skyrunner, 3 Shining Spears, 2x3 D-Cannon support batteries, and he's taking an auxiliary detachment with Karandras, not Baharoth. Karandras.
Wow. So
Karandras is a truck, though.
He is, and he has the infiltrate, so he's going to be in the middle of the board in a nice, cozy place. Here, you come near me, I will pick you up.
He's protecting those Rangers and then eventually the spot for the D-Cannons, I think.
Yeah, maybe. 2x3 D-Cannons in Ynnari. Usually you'd see that in Ulthway because they get the +1 to hit, right? Interesting to see them in Ynnari too. They're still out of line of sight.
Then
tank
I believe they're necessary because there are matchups where you just can't be in the open as Eldari, and when you want to play a passive turn 1 or turn 2, that gives you the insurance that you still get some stuff done and clear off middle objectives, deny people getting 12s by holding 3 objectives, unless you have a little bit more tempo in the game. Because as it sits right now, this thing has no gun. This is a Ynnari list that has pretty much no gun outside Shining Spears. Pretty much everything else just kind of has to hit you.
Explain what you mean by that term as far as has no gun.
Well, so it doesn't have the ability to stay in this deployment zone and clear the midboard. So in a lot of matchups, a guard is going to do this to people as well, where you want to either push on him immediately or cut ankles while sweeping along your deployment zone. Just get an angle here. The tanks can't adjust to get you, kill a thing, stay safe, etc., etc. You want to tempo out the game. If you don't have gun, you can't clear the middle, and if they just mob the middle, either you're forced to push out your squishies, Howling Banshees, Striking Scorpions, uber killy, but quite not very resilient.
T3 with a terrible armor set. So.
It's all T3. Everything offensive apart from the Shining Spears is T3, and even then they're only T4. And so if you have to push the middle, especially if you're not in terrain when you push the middle, you're just going to get eaten alive. And so you need the ability to stay in your deployment zone and have some tempo in the game, be able to take a turn or 2 off to make your opponent make some decisions, especially if you're playing for the bottom of turn. If you've got turn 2 and you're like, well, I just need to stop them getting 12s because I expect to just rack up Psychic Ritual by jumping out, boosting back with my Farseer my Skyrunner or my Warlock. And I'm going to stay, put up 2 or 3 banners, and then go push for the 12 at the end of the game, win by 5 points, that kind of thing. Without the D-Cannons, you can't do that. You have no way to clear them off the middle objectives. You have to go and play the trade game. And sometimes it's not what you want to do.
You also mentioned the Rangers. Oh, that was perfect. Yeah, thank you. The Rangers there. We've seen them find their way into more and more Eldari list of any kind, Asuryani list of any kind, because one, sniper rifles, relevant, incredibly relevant.
Mm-hmm.
Probably going to be even continue to be more relevant as time goes on. People take characters, snipe them out, but also the hidden path, secondary. They complete the secondary faster than the other units in your army, hoping to get probably a point advantage. That's why I like Karandras. They're going to be up there. You get a lot of squishy things up there, but people are a lot less likely to charge into your lines when you have a Phoenix Lord there.
Yeah, exactly right. And I was just looking at Karandras, so 150 points. It's got a 2+ save, a couple of little shuriken shots, but the melee is where it's at. 6 attacks with exploding 6s and doing mortals as well. Or you can go to 12 attacks at at strength 6 and neg 2 1 damage. Really good all rounder. I mean, you can't say Baharoth isn't better, but he just might not have had the points to go up to Baharoth because I think he's a couple more.
Baharoth. What is he? 10 points more?
He's only 10 points more. That's right. He's only 10 points more. So that means he's got a plan. That means he's got a reason why. And I believe it's probably the mortal wounds is the reason why, because Karandras does do the mortals.
Karandras can charge
keeping at the infiltrate because of the infiltrate, right? That's a big thing for him because he's a Phoenix Lord, so you can't one phase him.
Exactly right. So he's the thing you can in the Votan matchup especially. He's the guy who just goes, "I'm on a middle objective."
Yeah.
What are
Deal
you going to do? You're a one-phase army. You got to charge Zerkers. You got to charge bikes into me, which is a bad trade. Like if you don't kill me, heaven forbid, this is a bad trade. Also, it makes the Scorps OBSEC as well, which is cute. It's always nice.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I like this list quite a bit. I think it's good. I think it's very good for a grindy, melee trading war. The sheer amount of Tau makes me scared for All Dead and his Yunari.
You know what? Karandris is going to pick up a Riptide on turn 1 game, and it's going to be fine.
It's going to be all okay. What worries me is
That
the
could
bombers,
happen.
man.
That could happen.
Bombers, the freaking Tau bombers is like is terrifying to this army. And that's the matchup that gives me.
Realistically, though, they're very terrifying to lots of armies.
It's true.
Yeah. And if you're metaing to just not take something that doesn't get crapped on by Sun Sharks, you tell me what that is. Somebody tell me, phone me, 6 months. I've got no idea what that is.
And this list actually does decently well against the Sun Sharks. I mean, you have to kind of go first. Like we saw James Kelling, he did have a learning game against Andrew Gagnon. And did not do very well in that, but he came out strong in his second 2 games, largely on the back of him being able to kind of mitigate and deal. Going first helped. I mean, I'm not saying the game's not really a go first or second type game, right now all the time, but he had the tools in it, and there were some similar things in this list to that list. So I think he can hold his own against that with a little bit, good luck.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, let's get to the last of the list we're breaking down. Then we've got a spicy head-to-head. There has been one very spicy matchup because the round 1 of this event has been paired. So stay tuned with that for that one. This next one, I'm gonna crack my knuckles, crack my neck. Let me tell you a story. Let's build some.
We mentioned the rival. Do we want let's take a quick break for a word from our sponsors, and then we'll come back and explain this bitter rivalry.
I gotta find a gauntlet to throw. I'll be right back. Where is it?
At Frontline Gaming, we make the best tabletop gaming mats in the universe. Our mats are durable, rollable, foldable, wipeable, and storable. Oh, and they look damn great, too. Join the thousands of tournament regulars and garage gamers who use our mats to bring their gaming surfaces to life. To ensure quality, Frontline Gaming mats are custom-made one at a time, printed with high-quality ink. Our immersive designs stay crisp and are available in a wide range of styles and sizes. So whether you're playing a war game or a skirmish game, whether you're fighting over an alien tundra, fantastical forest, or real-world setting, there's a great-looking battlefield for you. Our gaming mats are printed on extremely durable neoprene backing, so they won't slide around the table, and they're thick enough to stay flat, protecting what's underneath and allowing for slight uneven surfaces. We know from experience that an easily portable gaming surface is just better. Every mat comes with a sturdy nylon zip-up bag for storage and transportation. Whether your next battle is in your home or at the local game store, you'll be able to unroll your FLG mat and get gaming right away. Our products are all made and tested by passionate gamers at Frontline Gaming HQ right here in the USA. It's time to take your battlefield to a new level. Frontline Gaming, champions of tabletop.
We are back, and we have our bitter rivalries and gauntlets ready to go to support Adam Camilleri in his international struggle to become best Dark Angel in the world.
That's right. This is a call out. This is a shout out, gentlemen.
Thrown.
The last one.
Whoa! I chipped something on the floor. Okay.
All right. Everyone sit down. Let me tell you a tale. It's a tale of the unforgiven. All year, I've been jostling for number 1 Dark Angels with this gentleman, Jay. I think his surname is Seaborn or Seaborn. I don't know. But me and him have been trading number 1 Dark Angels all season. It's been me and him at 1 and 2 all the way. I'm not playing in LVO, and right now I don't think Jay is playing in LVO either. He might be, and I don't know. If he is, this is a moot point. I'm playing Uprising with Dark Angels to cap the end of the season. That's my last event. If this is his last event, this is his capstone as well. I'm number 1 over him by about 30 points. He's playing in a 400-player 5-round event. He could play 7 rounds. I'm playing in a 250-player 8-round event, and I'll be playing all 8 rounds. So the numbers for the figures, they're going to end up being around about the same. I've got more potential rounds I could play. He's got more numbers at his event. So it's how well he does at this versus how well I do at mine. And here's the gauntlet. You're going down, Jay. You got nothing. That's it. Throw those gauntlets down, boys. You both had gauntlets. Place them gently.
They're thrown. I threw it down.
Do it again. That's fine. Gauntlets. I don't even know if Jay knows I exist. I don't even know if he tracks the ITC or pays attention to the rankings. I have no context for any of this smack guy I'm talking.
Living his best life with no idea.
No idea. No cares in the world.
That's right. Doesn't know how to
go get first place Dark Angels. There's nobody that can compete with me.
Well, see, he's also like, I think he's first or almost first in Grey Knights, and I was secretly being like, go for Grey Knights, Jay. Go for Grey Knights. And because I'm playing with new rules and he's playing with old rules, I don't know if this is going to be as valid as I wanted it to be, because I wanted this kind of oomph, because this is my own personal narrative in this last 12 months. So I want you guys to get hype about it too. Follow Jay, see how he's doing. Throw some smack at me about being, mate, Jay's undefeated at him. It's the day 2. You're going down. He's going to sink your battleship. All that kind of crap. Lay it on me, and then I'll do the same to him if you know him when I'm playing an Uprising next weekend. So. Should be a cherry ripe little spice to your end.
Nice. Let's tear his list apart.
Of course, he's playing Dark Angels. He's got a battalion, Azrael, Primaris Chappie on a black with the Mace of Redemption, and I'm about to tell you why that is a great meta choice. He's got a Primaris Tech Marine, which is Mastery of the Forge, 2 by 5 Infiltrators with 5 Assault Intercessors as well, a unit of 5 and a unit of 4 Black Knights. Come on, Jay, where's your 1 unit of 10, brother? Get it together. A single Ravenwing Apothecary with the Armor Indomitus, which is a nice, cute little pick with Armor Tempster being in play here. 2 Redempted Dreadnoughts, 2 Landspeeder Vengeances, and a single Dark Talon. This is a cute little package. A lot more is really pushing into the mechanized side of things. Whilst I think having the Black Knights as the swing, Infiltrators go up, Black Knights support them should they get in over their heads. Last wave, the Redemptors go in, while the Dark Talon makes a mess of your back.
Do you think that's why the Black Knights are split up, is so they can have this kind of V formation?
He can't, obviously, either he couldn't find the points for the 10th one, because then you just take 1 unit of 10, combat squad him when you want the 2 5s, which is what I've been doing in the games I've played with him. But it looks like he wanted the points to, I think, probably just try and squeeze the Dark Talon in. The Dark Talon offers a hell of a lot of utility in this game. The Stasis Bomb is really good for, say, you're playing against the town matchup and they've got a unit of Recruit out front. Drop the Stasis Bomb on them, deal D3 mortals, and then they can't fall back. 0%, they are not allowed to fall back. No Desperate Breakout, no nothing. And then you just try and pin as many units off it as you can. 2 units of 5 black, 4 and a 5 Black Knights, just 1 guy attacks from each squad. You don't kill it all, pile in, can't fall back, go and pressure their back line with your Blacks. Really pretty nice. Also, the Mortal Wound Dump is always good in this meta. He's got a lot of really high rend. He's got like rend 4, rend 3 on just about everything. I have not been a fan of Redempted Dreadnoughts in this meta. They have underperformed for me consistently this meta. So I'm really interested to see how he does with them.
Like the neg 1 and stuff. I mean, it's
the fact that they don't do any damage for near 200 points. Because you take the rend 4 gun, but that rend 4 gun, like I've had games where it hasn't shot more than 3 shots per turn, and so. I took 3 of them, and I've had games where they total less than 10 shots between all 3 guns. Yeah. And you're just being like, why am I paying 600 points of my army for this? And then all the little guns don't do what they used to in the Arm Break Attempt meta, because they're all Rend 1, Rend 2 in tactical or dev stocked, and they never get better than Rend 2 on those guns. So if you're sitting in cover, they don't care.
Are you taking a Tech Marine, though, to basically help them be immortal?
Yes, I was taking a Tech Marine a lot of the time. Just give 1+1 to hit. Then one of them turns on reroll 1s to wound, and they all buff each other. Interesting to see he hasn't taken the single Talon Master as well. The one Talon Master with Arbiter's Gaze, and then you use either via CP or via Azrael's Warlord trait. Keep him in Devastator Doctrine for 3 turns of the game, and then ignores cover, always hits on 2s. Really good swing piece. Gets a lot of work done for clearing chaff. But I want to tell you about the Chaplain on bike. You notice the 37 Heretic Astartes at this event. That Mace of Redemption on a 4+ is a power fist. Straight up is a power fist already. Strength times 2, -3, 2 damage. On a 4+ to wound, you deal 2 mortal wounds and the attack sequence ends to any Heretic Astartes unit. So that guy will go in there and with the right buffs, if he gets off all his canticles and whatnot, can easily go in and maul a giant Terminator unit, Heretic Status Terminator unit. Because you go in, you hit on 2s or you hit on 4s. You probably don't do it if you're going to hit on 4s. You just go clean up little squads here and there of other stuff, things like Possessed, things like Emperor's Children, Word Bearers, little things here and there. He becomes a big problem to try and take care of, and he can just bounce around by himself, 2 CP after he's attacked, shoot him back into your lines and keep him safe. And he just goes in there with like some 6-7 attacks, depending on the litanies. Hitting on 2s could be re-rolling, wounding on 2s because strength 8, and then every 4 is 2 mortal wounds, and just cutting down squads here, there, and everywhere.
Is it still -1 to hit, or is it?
No -1 to hit.
Okay.
It just hits on 2s. Really, really good unit for his meta, and I think that's that's the thing I love the most about his list. But he's still gonna nah. I do like the vengeances in his meta though. He's got there are a lot of units in his meta. The Tau units with the big crisis suits. There are a lot of what I'm getting at here is a lot of blastable units where your 2 land speed vengeances are just going to have 6 shots each rather than 2d3. And I think they're a good meta pick for where he's at. Might be why he's seeing a value of the Redemptors as well, because they're just going to get 6 shots each against the big Terminator bricks, against the big Tau units, etc., etc. So maybe he's onto it.
Oh, very cool. I can't wait to see how this plays out. One, because we want to see this faction do pretty well, hang out in there. We also want to see him not do. Do we want to see him not do that well? What do we? I'm conflicted.
I do. I want to see him do really well. I don't want to make the top cut. Don't make the top cut, Jay. Okay, you can go 5-0. Don't make the top cut, because if he makes the top cut, I think I'm screwed. I think there's no chance. I have to win Uprising, I think, to get my spot back.
We're actually big softies. We want everyone to do well. We want all these players of every tournament we ever talk about to all come home as champions. That's exactly
honestly, I ain't throwing any shade at Jay. He's put together a phenomenal season. If he beats me, it's because he deserves it. I'm throwing some smack to build some hype, baby.
Of course, all in good humor. I think you was talking about list composition though. With that 2 units there, Black Knights. I mean, look, he's got the points. They're in there. The 10th one, I guess. What would you change to put that 10th in there? I guess we mentioned that you've kind of opted to not go with the Redemptor Dreadnoughts, and he's even further invested into the Redemptor Dreadnoughts with the Primaris Tech Marine. Or what else does the Tech Marine add to a Dark Angel list that maybe I'm not seeing other than maybe protecting those Redemptors?
So the Tech Marine's actually a fatty 2+ saved. Is really hard to kill. So he can just sit on your backfield with a bunch of little guns. Like he's got his flamer, he's got his melter gun, he's got his super bolter. He's the Primaris. He's got his super bolter. He's not bad in combat either, and he can just sit on your back line with a 1+ in cover with armor contempt and just be really frustrated to try and kill. And then, but so what I do when I take him is I usually take him with land speeders and maybe 1 or 2 dreads. And he sticks with the dreads, and the dreads sit in my backfield.
Oh, the 2 land speeder vengeances are in addition to what the
exactly right. So they go out and get angles and get shots, and then they scoot back to him and get repaired, and then go out again the next turn. And so that's what I usually do. I usually get a rotation going as the Tech Marine sits down, holds a banner or something on my backfield, and I'll just scoot past, get repairs, and scoot off again with whoever needs it. So yeah, there is a one other piece of tech that I always take in this list that he's missing, and that is the Reliquary of the Repentant, which takes any invulnerable save that you would have to a 5+. So it's really good on if you have a 3+ invuln. It doesn't work on demons, unfortunately, but it allows me to one-shot the Silent King with a unit of 10 Black Knights very easily. In fact, I overkill him generally, especially if I do Weapons of the Dark Age. So it allows me to just push damage into things that would halve my efficiencies. And that's something I always put in my list, but he hasn't gone for it here. And but I think he doesn't really have the setup to do it. I usually take a Raven Wing Champ, like 70 points, and I don't care if it dies. Like I'll shoot it out, double move it for a CP, and get a job done. But yeah, this is a cool list. It's a bit more mechanized than I would have taken into Armor Contempt, but he's got rend for days, man. He's got so much rend on all his guns. I figure that's what he's just trying to leverage.
Love to see that. We're about to highlight a segment here that we have not done before, because the pairings for round 1 have been published, and we get to have a little bit of insight on who's actually going to play who in round 1. So this is the head-to-head segment we're going to talk about in just a minute. And right after that, we're going to go into our tried and true little palate cleanser at the end of every episode we call the Fuego Rapido. If you're new here, check it out soon. You don't want to miss it. Hold tight. But before this, let's talk about this. A couple of round 1 pairings.
So we have a head-to-head super spicy matchup for you guys. I would like to point out that we didn't cover Inez Wilson as part of our top 5 players in attendance. He is one of the top 5 in the UK, and he is in the top 10 in the world because we didn't want to double dip. So we've got him here, and he is an absolute gun. I'm going to hand pass this to Dustin for the list breakdown. Give it to us, brother.
For Inez Wilson's nice, juicy Tyranid Kraken list, it is a double patrol with, I'm not saying it, a tyrant with mad claws.
We've seen the setup. The setup.
Almost got him.
3 zoanthropes, 3 venomthropes, a unit of 7 raveners, 3 biovores, 2 harpies that have heavy venom cannons, and then the second patrol has the flyrant, and then 3 warriors. I'm assuming the 3 warriors have 1 venom cannon with bone swords.
Yeah, I think 1 unit got cut off here as well. I'm just looking at the PowerPoint. There's 3 Tyrant Guard.
3 Tyrant Guard. I figured there's be a Tyrant Guard in there somewhere too.
Yeah, there's 3 Tyrant Guard below the warrior. Sorry, it got cut off in the copy and paste.
Yeah. Okay. No, this is a solid list. It's interesting to see the harpies in there again. The biovores are an auto include. 1 big Ravener squad is good. I do like 1 big Ravener squad. I wish there was more because I just like having more than the throw at people, but I get why there's 1 big one for sure.
So
do you mean more Raveners in the squad itself, or more than one large Ravener squad?
I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean more Ravener squads split up. So like I want like a couple multiple 5-mans because a 5-man squad is still 25 attacks that they'll maul most things that you're going to throw them at too. The extra 2. I mean, at this point, he probably built the list of the Raveners were going to be in there, but then he had, okay, maybe I'll just add 2 more Raveners to the squad then.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, the Harpies are really interesting, mate. We haven't seen double Harpy, especially double Harpy not in Leviathan for a while. What do you make of that?
The Harpies still have really good tech piece right now. Like they went up in cost, but they provide such a huge value with both mortal wounds bombs. They can be a huge threat just flying into your opponent's deployment zone. Their heavy venom cannons are still dangerous. They'll get the alpha strike that Tyranids, no, I'm not going to say lack, but it means they don't have to throw away one of their melee threats to do it. So now they're going to put these 2 flyers in the back zone if they want to, and be able to shoot anything they want, take out a huge threat to the rest of their army, and not really sacrifice anything they're going to need later on, and put spores down to block some movement as well.
How do you like Harpies into the Tau and T-Sons and Demons matchup?
Harpies into the Tau is you want to go first. Because otherwise those Harpies, they're going down. They're just going down. But into Demons, they're really good. Really good.
Yeah, really good.
Any greater demon gets targeted by them. The move block is huge for them. They're incredible in the demon matchup.
I meant the T-Sons Demon matchup, but I think
that also the same thing, exact same thing, because it's what's -3 with 4 damage, right? Like it's fantastic.
It's perfect. All right, he is going head-to-head with Mr. Adam Lane, another gun from the UK. He's playing Tau Farsight Enclaves. He's got a single patrol detachment, whole list into a patrol. I'm jealous. He's got Farsight and a Cold Star Commander, 10 Kroot, 5 Crisis Suits, with each one has a burst cannon, a cyclic, and a plasma, and then 2 shield drones and 1 marker drone. Then he's got 3 Crisis Bodyguard, each with the same setup of burst, cyclic, and plasma, 4 Kroot Hounds, 2 Riptides with ions, big ions, and then double plasma rifles, and then 2 Sun Sharks. This thing has all 4 of your food groups covered for Commanders, Crisis Suits, Riptides, and Sun Sharks. It is fearsome.
It's exactly what Talos should be right now. Like in this meta, the Sun Sharks. I love the Riptides, Crisis Suits. It's beautiful.
Only argument I have is to take out. Well, see, the thing is, in a patrol, you can't get another HQ. So is to take out 1 Riptide for long strike. That's the only literal thing I could ever argue. But if you're playing Farsight, you can't do it anyway. So might as well take 2 commanders and enjoy that side of life. And I think and especially if you're not taking Shadow Sun as well. So for the redeploy, which I think he's got on his Cold Star Commander, regardless. I love this list. I think this is just about as good a tailored Tau list for this meta as you could get. And considering there's 32 of them in attendance, if there's 32 of these, that's what's going to I can't see many people being able to run that gauntlet. That's absolutely ridiculous.
I love the Kroot Hounds in there too, just a little bit extra.
So here's the problem, boys, with this Tau list. How do you get 100 points versus it?
Versus it or with
your secondaries you pick to versus it?
Versus it. It doesn't give up any, and it's a dead weight blanket on a lot of your scoring.
Well, it's simple. You build your list to not have to interact with your opponent's list. Don't you play
And then,
GSD, Adam? Come on.
and then it just kills you. Well, that's the thing, right? If you don't interact with this, it tables you. So you got to go and stop it. How do you stop it? It doesn't give you any points while you're trying to stop it tabling you. How do you get 100 points? I mean, it's beatable, right? It's very beatable. This tower list, but
for sure.
is this the kind of list that is just no matter what you're playing, can you get 100 points? Is a really big question.
Mm-hmm.
Secondaries matter, and we've even
Secondaries do
doubly
matter.
so now because the win, just the getting a 68 to 54, winner against a list is not good enough to get you into the top cut.
Mm-hmm.
Dustin, so we know Kraken leverages a leverage speed, aggression, and also a lot of spore mines. How well does it, in your mind, does this tower list account for spore mines?
It doesn't care about spore mines at all.
Tell us why. This is big.
Well, if it flies, right? So they don't get move blocked by them. Everything in this list, aside from the crew, which they weren't not going to run through spores anyway, so they can actually avoid them and go around them. Going over them, interesting enough, I don't know if you know this too, but if you fly over spore mines, they can explode on you still.
Yep.
So you guys still got to be careful about that. But the spore mines are not going to block them. Usually they're used for movement blocking. And Tau, like a list like this, they don't. Nope.
I keyed onto the fact that each one of his crisis suits has a burst cannon. Could that be a reason why he slapped a burst cannon on all of them?
Well,
because the burst cannons are not amazing into the armor contempt meta, which he's still operating in. But there are enough matchups that they're okay still.
But you got to look at the rest of his list. Those burst cannons are there because he needs something to clear any kind of chaff, and spore mines do qualify for that. But I think in this list, in any crisis suit build that has Riptides, Hammerhead, Sunsharks, whatever, you want to have burst and or flamers in them, specifically because you need those horde clearing, chaff clearing, whatever you want to just clear those little diggy things. You have the big guns covered. That's fine. Anything big, it's gonna die. The crisis suits are perfect to clear these little things, and those burst cannons in this case are perfect thing to kill spore mines with. So avoid it. Like, oh, by the way, I'll just kill that, and while I'm killing everything else.
So, picking a winner, boys. Who's got it?
Winner in this head-to-head or the whole tournament?
This head-to-head.
Like, I mean, come on. I'm not going to not go for NS.
I know. And
sorry, I'm a Tyranid. I'm a forces guy. So.
I kind of want to go against Inez because me and him are mates and it would be funny. But I'm pretty sure he's going to get this. I'm pretty sure he'll have a very good plan for this matchup. But Adam's is my namesake, so Tau's going to.
That's
Inez,
true.
You're stuffed. You got the power of Adam versus you. So it's over. That's it.
I'm going to say, I mean, it is kind of hard to go against, a highly ranked player who's been playing this faction for a long time. We have more information about Inez than at least I do about Adam. But all that in mind, who doesn't like to root for what might be an underdog? So I'm going with Adam.
Yeah, absolutely. There you go.
Yeah, that's the right call. You should always go for Adam.
Always bet on Adam.
It's always bet on Adam. It's a safe bet, right?
We'll see if we're right come next weekend. Look, now's that time, that palate cleanser we talk about. We call the slot the Fuego Repeat. Been saying it for a year and a half, and there we go. The Fuego Repeato, a segment where we, oh, look at this. I like the theming, and then we've got here. I guess it's going to be our Friday the 13th theme, because this is Thursday the 12th. Yeah, tomorrow is the 13th. Good spot. Thanks for that. And we invite production.
It's already the 13th for Adam.
I'm living it. I'm in the future. It's okay. Don't worry, you'll get your scene.
Is the future
I hope you make it all the
way
way through the movie.
Will I make it through the movie? A little debatable.
So we do invite production on to help us with this. We give ourselves a series of topics and then 2 minutes to give some pretty hot takes on them, or at least our opinion on what they may or may not be. Most of them not about Warhammer 40,000. That's what it says. This is palate cleanser. If we've just been through a whole hour together talking about stats and crunchy stuff and all the things that we're devil in the details type of thing. Now let's unwind and have a little fun.
I'm already having fun. You don't have to tell me. All right.
Did Nurgle Matthew just give away some in a Twitch chat? Everyone's praising him pretty hard. If you did, Matthew, we love you. Continue.
Continue being the great dude.
Let me hit the time thingy. That's part of my job. Start. Okay, is Friday the 13th a lucky or unlucky day, in your opinion?
It's absolutely lucky.
Yeah, it can be lucky. I think that you got to manufacture whatever you need.
Yeah.
If you have the physical ability to not trip over, 100% it's a lucky day.
Yeah.
Because everyone else who dies, and you're just like natural selecting yourself to the front of the queue.
Like, what do they
It's
say?
fantastic.
What's some other things? If a black cat crosses your path, or
Yeah.
whatever,
Oh,
you pet
jeez.
the black kitty. That's
Yeah, it's a cat.
It's a cat.
Yeah.
It's a cat. Why
And then
would
it didn't cross your path. You just patted a cat. That's right.
you-
Chase the cat. Hey, if it crosses, chase it. You know, it's not crossing your path. You know, fight the prophecy.
13th is always lucky for me. I was born on the 13th, so.
Yeah. So I decided that one of my lucky numbers would be the day after or before my birthday, born on the 12th. So the 13th and the 11 lucky numbers for me.
Have you ever won the lottery with those numbers yet?
Never.
Have you played the lottery?
Once or twice. When it gets up into like $1 billion,
Okay,
why couldn't you not throw $2 that maybe I win $1
$2,
billion? It
right,
happens
sure.
to be my birthdays of my family or whatever. Not encouraging anyone to do that, by the way. It's always a fool's errand.
Yeah, I do argue it's a lucky day.
It's definitely a lucky day. Like, I honestly, what is the big superstition of why it's unlucky? Is it just because of the movie? Is that literally the only reason?
I think so.
It can't be. I think the movie had to have been because that was already.
I would assume so, but I don't actually know the origin of why Friday the 13th is supposedly unlucky.
Isn't that the day that the witch trials or something began?
Is that what
I
it
don't
was?
I don't know that for sure.
Chat, give us some help in there while we're doing the rest of the Fuego, because I'm genuinely interested now, because I actually don't know. I don't.
Okay, there's a wiki page called Friday the 13th, which encapsulates
Fuego.
the history of the unluckiness of 13, which I can't tell you anything about.
Oh, now we'll never know. There you go. It's on
I-
Wikipedia.
I also wanted to call it. So Nurgle Matt gave 513 gift subs to the channel,
What?
What?
and
Dude!
from
Oh,
what I'm,
that's
yeah,
slow
so
freaking clap.
from
Oh
what
my
I'm
God.
reading, he wants to give people gift subs so they don't have to watch commercials during LVO. During the LVO
Dude,
stream.
that is absolutely
That's
legendary.
awesome.
Thank you so freaking
Thank
much,
you.
mate.
Thank you.
Man, at times you keep the whole thing going, dude. Just so you know.
You really do.
You really do.
Jeez.
Hats off. Thank you so much.
Mwah, nothing but love.
Nothing but love.
Moving on. So, what's the best?
Can't beat that with anything we say. So
It's-
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
nothing we
yeah.
can say now. Like,
What's the best horror movie franchise?
Nightmare on Elm Street.
oh, you didn't even hesitate.
Yeah,
at all.
No,
very
it's the
little
best.
hesitation.
Of all, look, Nightmare on Elm Street's the best.
That's the horror movie franchises. I see those are classics, like Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street. Those are both classics. I don't know if they're the best. They're classics, but not.
It's got to be a franchise. Specifically, the question here.
Of course.
Best horror
So,
movie franchise.
I've got two in mind.
Okay,
The Living Dead
that's kind of those one of mine.
and Aliens. I'm not sure if Aliens is sci-fi
That's
like
that's
horror.
sci-fi though.
Or is it?
Aliens
Yeah,
is
exactly right.
sci-fi.
Aliens is the weird
So,
one. It doesn't.
If
make
it
the
was
cut.
horror, that would win
I mean,
hands down.
The,
Like, that would
the
win
first
contest.
one, you can't argue about the horror aspects of the first one, but the second one's just
That's
like a
true,
shoot 'em up,
actually.
et
No, that's a
cetera, et
good
cetera.
point. The first one, and arguably the third one wasn't that great though. But the first one did actually have more of a horror movie
It
feel.
really did.
Or a
It really
horror
did.
movie feel. You know what? I'm agreeing with Adam now. I'm kind of down with saying Aliens at this point. Then 'Cause I'm convinced that at least the first one is horror as well.
It's definitely
yes,
a thriller. It's a sci-fi thriller.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say it's horror. though.
I'm talking myself out of it, actually. Out of.
Are you?
calling
You're talking
it
me into
yeah,
it.
as calling the franchise a horror franchise. I don't think you can. I think it's only one out of 3 to 4. Depends if you accept that Alien Resurrections exists. 3 to 4 films is a horror. That does not make a horror franchise.
How do you
Yeah,
mind
Living Dead.
Resurrection?
Living Dead. Let's do it.
Okay, I need to call out Cameron Summers, Evil Dead. I don't know if that's completely a horror because it was like a spoof, but it was supposed to be horror. I will go with that if Aliens doesn't count because
Glorious movies.
I love those movies.
I love Bruce Campbell too. Like if I can do an
Bruce
interview with
Campbell is
I
a-
would love
oh
to
my-
interview Bruce
oh
Campbell.
my
Just.
He's a hero. Army of Darkness is amazing.
Oh,
Like amazing movie.
it's incredible that they went from Evil Dead and somehow found themselves.
Yeah.
That in itself is a testament.
Okay. Jason Voorhees best fits in what Warhammer 40k unit?
Scorpec Destroyers.
Scorpec Destroyers. It's
What?
got to be something chaos.
They've
It's
got
be.
machete-like weapons, and they keep getting back up, mate. Like, it's perfect.
Orcs have machete-type weapons, too.
Yeah, but they don't keep getting back up. They don't, like, resurrect and just, like, refuse to die. Like, but okay, come on. What you got?
No, yeah, I was thinking, it's like, well, I guess I should shut up because I can't beat that.
If aberrants were core, I'd say he's an aberrant.
Oh shit! Actually, that's not bad.
Because then he could get back up, and then he's still durable, and he could carry whatever he wants. He carry a stop sign.
But they ain't. They ain't cool. What you got? You got nothing.
Maybe they are, and you just don't know it yet.
Well, is being core a requisite for the answer?
Yeah, because being core means that they actually get affected by the icon to come back.
Oh, I see what you mean.
They're hard to kill. They do feel no pain. Which,
not base. They have to get it given to them.
Yeah. So Jason's got to have like Freddy with him to get the feel no pain.
Jason with Freddy. Yeah. Okay.
6 up feel no pain.
There's a movie about that.
There is. What other arguments could there be made? Like,
I want to say this is like body type wise, it doesn't make sense, but I want to say like a striking scorpion, or like Karandra specifically because he can get back up, and he has like a nice like the biting blade that he hits people with. And he
could
easily be a 3.5 edition Chaos Lord.
He could.
Yeah. Somebody has just mentioned Chthonian Berserkers from Votan because they fight on death.
He doesn't know. I don't know if he fights on death. He just gets back up though.
He's not girdly enough for.
No, he's definitely not girdly enough. No. He's like a big broad guy, but not girdly. You know?
If I had to just say the unit, the model he looks like the most would be like an Ogryn bodyguard or something. Like huge dude.
We're out of time.
Fuego. All right. What do you see as a symbol of bad luck?
My role to go first.
Oof. Yeah.
Someday.
Fair.
Symbol of bad luck.
I've got Yeah, I'm trying to think of some because when I'm at a table, everything that's going wrong is.
Yeah, I won't pick up a penny on tails.
Matt Morosoli is a symbol of bad luck to me. I've just had some amazing aberrations of luck. I put myself in a position for luck to like take a hand, obviously. But my sweet lord, he's the cooler of my dice.
Someone said sleeves were yours, Adam.
Wow.
If they tune in and you have sleeves on, they just turn the show back off. Like,
there you go. Get to it.
Not putting that hex.
Get out of here. Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you.
You know what? Because if we're going like 40k related too, my biggest symbol of bad luck is whenever I play Skari, either the first Shadow Field save he makes or the first what are they called now? Night Shield save, the 5 up invulns. First one of those he makes, he won't fail them after that. That's it. Like if he doesn't fail the first one, he will not fail them for the rest of the game.
Yikes.
It's bad.
Your dice tray is pretty brutal to me, actually.
My dice tray is amazing. It's epic. All of them spin. Come on.
I don't like it.
You love it.
Nope.
Paul, give us one of yours.
That was it. Like I won't pick up a penny on tails.
Although really.
Yeah. Well, I mean, no.
Is there anything behind that, or just kind of?
No. Well, the thing is, if you pick up especially if you find a penny on head, you're supposed to take it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Maybe it's a Southern thing. I don't know.
Maybe I should look back at some of those unlucky days I had and look at the pennies. Was it on tails?
That's right.
Was that screwed my day?
Yeah, you had hair.
Just because of that stupid penny.
You had a hairline.
I had a hairline. And I picked up a penny.
One penny on tails, and it's all
fell out the next day. I just looked in the mirror. Like, what the hell happened?
Fuego. What is the scariest 40k model currently available?
As in the 40k universe or the actual
model? So 40k model.
We did a rundown during Halloween on the live stream. We did a very unofficial creepiest model.
Scariest model, like, looking wise, then.
Yep.
Nightbringer's got to be up there, right? Even if he is very dated.
He's pretty good.
He's
okay. Yeah, and then I mean it's in Horace Heresy, but Conrad Kerr's pretty scary.
I find the Hari specs.
Yeah, I
That's-
think that's
Oof.
where kind of like I looked at over there, and the Harspec literally staring at me. And it's actually kind
If
of
that was running at me at like 20 miles an hour, big, more open and crap, yeah, I'm out.
I think Harspecs for me is probably. In fact, it's magnetized. I'm going to go over there and change it to an exocrine very quickly because
Don't
it's
like
really.
looking at it.
No, I don't like
Now that you're starting to think about
I'm
it,
starting to
you
think
know,
about it. Like, stop it.
he's got to walk a long, dark path to his back, away from to his main room after the show.
Yeah.
Surely there's some Slanesh units that are up there.
Slash units, I
don't know if they're
I think
scary,
they're not
odd.
scary yet. Creepy.
Yeah,
They're not scary. They're creepy.
But you're supposed to.
Very distinctive difference between the two.
Yeah.
Yeah, the aesthetic is you're supposed to not like looking at them though. Like in the
Really?
fluff, you're supposed to be like, ugh.
Like the
Yeah,
Talos
yeah.
pretty creepy. Any of that, the
Talos
Hellish
are
type,
Yeah.
Yeah,
type
that's
stuff, I think is fairly creepy.
Actually, if you look at my converted Talos with the snake bodies, those would be scary.
and I think it's because like whatever's about to happen to you, it's not going to be over quickly.
Yeah,
That's
true.
the impression that I get.
Yeah.
The homunculus is probably another great call.
Like I will run away from a berserker, but if when I inevitably do not, I know my end is quick.
You just
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Vashnor will be next year's scariest model, as I'm just responding to chat. They said this model, but
Oh, Vash.
not yet. Not
yeah.
yet. Soon.
Will be.
I will. Oh, we got more. Sweet.
Yeah. Oh, didn't we do this one last week?
No, I don't remember this
No?
one.
Okay, cool.
What show were you on?
Dude, I don't remember, man. Why are Skaven better than man things in other old world Warhammer factions? Oh, it's an old world.
They're not.
Skaven's 13 is their number. And,
Who did?
Yes.
Who made this?
That's savvy.
Nicky?
Good bow. Good bow.
Is
That
this
was
you?
drawn by somebody.
The Skaven player.
They are the perpetual innovators. They push the envelope on what can be done and accomplished with like engineering and an unlimited supply of bodies.
Well, they recognize that life is cheap, and you know what? This lightning's got to go where the lightning's got to go.
Well,
Exactly
they're
right.
Rats, baby. They're rats. No big deal.
These plague globes, got to be thrown eventually, right?
I do like how they can adapt to everything. Like whatever. Like you got a Chaos Pantheon. We're just going to borrow what we like and not
Yeah,
all wrapped
keep the
up in
rest. Yeah,
Yeah.
keep the rest.
No, there's a very simple reason of why they are better than other things in old world Warhammer factions. It's very, very simple, because they are the equivalent of GSC in old world.
They actually are. They live underneath the cities. Boundless numbers, plans.
No one knows what their war gear looks like.
Oh.
Yes, exactly right. Exactly right.
No one knows what
Actually-
they're working. What's this warp storm lightning thing? What?
Dude, you actually make a lot of fair points there. That's pretty funny.
Right?
Hmm.
That's why I would play Skaven in fantasy if
Yeah,
I
you
wanted to play
would.
competitively, but I
you
don't,
would.
so I just play elves.
Because you don't want to play competitively.
No.
Play elves.
High elves, wood elves,
This guy.
dark elves,
This
whatever.
guy. Right.
This guy, yeah. Whatever.
You and Danny need to get together. Two peas in a pod.
Yeah, absolutely. We've talked about that too, actually. Old world was
And
good.
that's it, boys.
Ooh.
It's been a cool show. This has been a slightly different format. Again, as we're leading into the season ending here of the LVO. After the LVO, we'll pick it back up. We'll be talking about brand new meta stuff. We'll be talking about the champions from the ITC and what went down. You got to come in each and every week to figure out what that meta is going to be like. I know as this season winds down, anticipating the others has got me pretty excited.
Yeah, it's going to be really, really exciting to see what happens, mate. And the last couple episodes of the season are going to be really interesting. I'm actually not sure if I'm going to be here next week, because by the time we're recording, you go live, I'll be playing at Uprising.
We're
So gonna have to
considering
figure something out.
pre-recording next week's show. So when all that talk about showing up and doing it live, you might get a surprise show a day earlier or something like that.
Yeah.
So we can still be all together to get this show out and done. But we'll see if schedules allow and if logistics allow. But I want to prep all the listeners that might happen. Like there might be
Of course.
it might be like a Wednesday and a half show.
Wednesday and a half.
Yeah.
next week only. But we do what we can to keep it all going. So that's it. Hey, look, that's the show. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, leave us those 5-star reviews. That is one way you can appease the Algo Pantheon. To make sure, attract other folks, let us know that it's worth watching. We really appreciate that. And of course, the folks checking us out live means the world to us. If you listen to us after the fact, also mean the world to us. But while you're there, don't forget to hit those buttons. Help us out that way. Till then, we'll see y'all next week, everybody.
See you then.
See you then.